Thank you so much. All right, I need to get this out of the way. Technically speaking, Monica actually wasn't my teacher. True story. So I was and has always been proud to be part of the Steward Arts community. The time I spent here has made me into the person I am without any question. Just like many of us, it's in my DNA. I'm me because of this and the support I received here and the support I received from everybody that taught us. But for those that were here when I was a student, you probably remember that when I wasn't in this building, I wasn't exactly into lacrosse or golf or basketball or nautical-themed belts, colors other than black, the North Face Corporation, monogram memorabilia, or basically anything related to jam bands. So nothing wrong with any of this, but let's just say I was the only senior with a Nirvana quote in the yearbook. So imagine my surprise back in 2004-ish when I saw a new teacher dressed in all black, tattoos on display, carrying a guitar, looking like she takes no prisoners and would chew you up if you acted out. I was sitting right up there, like totally paying attention during an important assembly. "Dude, who is that?" I said to my classmate. "Shut up, Colden." So I had to figure out on my own what was going on and who this person was walking around my school. Over the next few years, thanks to my habit of perpetually hanging out in Mr. McAllister's classroom while never actually taking a single music course, there's a theme, I got to know Monica. And since she started sharing an office with them for a while, I also noticed that they got a lot done and were always productive all the time. And so as we got to know each other by my refusing to ever leave, I found that I wasn't only meeting probably the coolest faculty member I could possibly imagine, but someone that was going to be a mentor to me long after I graduated, and long after many of us did. Let's see some of my peeps over here. I'm not alone when I say I owe Monica more than she'll ever know. And there's so many moments that were small to her but big to me that taught me what art is, and I wanted to share that with you. Monica was the first person I ever talked to at this school that knew a lot about punk and heavy metal, kind of wild, but she was also really obsessed with the Indigo Girls and the divisive jazz era of Sting's solo career and the show tunes of Gilbert and Sullivan. Kind of a weird spectrum there for a 16-year-old boy to understand, but what she shared with me was so important. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. There's no shame in loving what you love, and it doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to fit into some narrow lane, and if art speaks to you, nothing else matters. Right back in that hallway back there, March 2007, where were you? Monica shared that artistic expression begins with emotional expression. Sure, there are techniques and disciplines to learn and refine like all of us have, often in this room, but it begins with the feeling. As she sat down with me on the floor, she saw that I was upset about some things that were happening in my life and in my family, and she said, "You know this feeling, Colden? Use it." The difference between a good artist and a great artist is recognizing that inspiration comes from within, not from somewhere else, and that hardship and pain that we all experience is often the key to reaching new heights and eventually reaching happiness. One spring day, 2005, Monica invited me and a few other students to work on an indie horror film with some local filmmakers. This is the watershed moment of my life, where I started the journey from being a film fan to a filmmaker. When I saw the difference between being an aspiring artist and an actual artist, and knowing that it's simply jumping off the cliff and doing it. Because what I saw that was making movies, making art, doesn't come from being stocked with resources or playing things from the book. Monica exemplified and illustrated to me that it comes from passion. It comes from the heart. It's making art because you are hungry to share, hungry to learn, and hungry to connect. I've made my career off working in film production, carrying this spirit with me the entire time. And it's wild how there's basically one person I can really thank for that. If you ask any of Monica's hundreds of students, they'll all give you similar stories because she's the best kind of teacher, the best kind of adult, really, because she has never once talked down to a child, no matter their age. She believes that empowerment doesn't come from being coddled, but rather being emboldened, being held accountable, and above all, being vulnerable. She teaches that confidence isn't some sort of costume. It's a channeling of our experience and perspectives into something that can be curated, that can be refined, that can be shared. Instead of simply instructing, Monica inspires. She goes out of her way to teach that performance or composition is entering a larger conversation, not a simple day and date performance. During her time here, Monica had zero desire to coast on the tried and true classics of children's theater. She respected the canon, but she also kind of liked to blow it up. Maybe some performance teachers out there end up putting together a script or two, but Monica straight up wrote like over a dozen plays. And every time she did, she would make sure that every single cast member understood how important they are to the bigger picture. She is the only teacher I've ever seen ask a 7-year-old, so what's your character's motivation in this scene as everyone around you starves in a famine? You know how to do it. If you watch her teach, don't look at her. Look at the student's eyes. Look and see that she is a special kind of mentor that treats you like a collaborator as much as you are a student. If you spent any time under her wing, you know that she's always held one expectation above all else, that you are willing to step outside yourself, surrender your ego, and be part of something bigger. When I was asked to induct Monica into the Hall of Fame, it was kind of a strange sensation, because when I graduated back in 2007, Monica stood right here and spoke about me at our class's baccalaureate service. It's sort of a full circle moment happening right now, guys, and it's kind of weird, probably for both of us. But then again, I'm not the only person that could be standing here talking about Monica. There are literally hundreds of others, and still more every single year, because she does not stop. And like me, they have left their time with Monica as a stronger, more confident, maybe even slightly funnier version of themselves. And in the nearly 20 years I feel like I've been by her side, she's become one of my closest friends. So yeah, Monica technically wasn't my teacher, but she taught me more than anyone else I know. Monica, congrats.
Wow, thanks, Colden. So I have the distinct pleasure of being a student of the Steward School and an educator at the Steward School. Paul Kramer, welcome to the Kramer Center, everybody. Paul Kramer was my public speaking teacher. So, you know, to honor him in this way feels important. When I was a student at Steward, I had teachers that didn't treat the electives like electives. Music and chorus and theater wasn't my elective. It was what I wanted to do. And to have grown-up people take that as seriously as I did was huge for me, huge. Bonnie Anderson took me to audition for college. Brenda Turner broke down Shakespeare for me in a way that I could stand up here and just talk about that. My time here as an educator was spent taking the foundation that was presented to me. I've said I didn't go to this school. My theater was in the middle school building. And to be able to come back as an artist and as an adult and take what was important to me as a student to inspire envy, that was one of my big statements. It's very important. Thanks to my mom and dad for setting me up to be successful. My partner and artistic collaborator, Tim, his contributions to the Steward Theater over the year have not gone unnoticed. Steward prepared me to have the confidence to be an artist. It's not easy, it's not always fun, but to be part of a community with people that took it seriously. It wasn't an elective, I think, is all the difference. My brother Lee was in a play at the Steward School in 1987 called Mixed Nuts. And I saw every performance of it. It's a play about this writer that moves to New York to this kooky apartment building, and just comedy ensues. And it was the first time I saw a play, not a musical or a movie, and I said, huh, I get that. I get it. And I thought it was so funny. In 2010, I attempted to do Mixed Nuts here at the Steward School, back when we'd get snow. We were snowed out. I called it the best play that no one saw. But much in the style of many siblings, I was drawn to what I was drawn to because of what my brother liked. So I'll always be grateful to Lee and to Mixed Nuts. And thank you, Colden. Thank you.